In the previous video, we saw the Web Map layers property. Now we'll check in on the tables property. So open up the Web Map tables property.py script from the Web Map content folder. Up top, we are importing the JSON module from the standard Python library so we can print the definition to screen in a more readable fashion. And although we're going to see some of the properties associated with a table for the JSON definition, I urge you to go check out the Web Map specification for the table to see that there are other properties available, such as form info for forms. We first access ArcGIS Online. We then use the content manager get method and supply in our Web Map itemId, which I'll paste in now from my notepad, or you can grab from ArcGIS Online. We'll assign the calling of the get method to a variable called Web Map item. We will then use the item object get data method to retrieve our Web Map definition, and we'll assign this to a variable called Web Map item data. I'm going to comment out the second example here because I have it open by mistake. And we're first going to print the tables property from our Web Map item data to screen. This will be a list containing the two tables that are currently in our Web Map. We're going to use the JSON dumps method to print that definition to screen so it is easily readable. So let's run the script. You can see we were returned a list. It is a list of dictionaries, and each dictionary defines a table in our Web Map. We currently have two. They're named the same. They just come from different services. If I scroll down, here we have our first one, and then we're into the second dictionary, and we have our second table. And you can see a whole heap of properties available here: capabilities, ID, item ID, and so on. We're going to print these to screen and see the values associated with them. We'll comment out our first example and open up part of our second example. So once more, we're going to access the tables property from our definition. We're going to access the first table and assign that to a variable called table. Now we're going to print just the list of those property names to screen. So let's run the script. So at the moment, we have ID available. This is a unique identifying string for the table in the Web Map. Initially, it is provided by the system, but you can overwrite it with your own ID. Item ID represents the item ID for the service that table comes from. Layer definition, bit of an odd one. It should be table definition, but this can control pop-ups and other table info. This layer type should not really be in there. If we take a look at the second table in our list of tables, there is no layer type property. Now we're only seeing that layer type property there because the first one in our list has that error with subtype group table, and that's why we see the layer type property. We have refresh interval, and we have the title, which is the name of our table, and then we have the URL to the table service itself. Let's open up the rest of the example, and this time we'll print out the property name followed by the value for that property. So we'll run the script. Scroll up a little. Here we have the ID that ArcGIS Online assigned to this table. We have the item ID. This is the item ID for the service that the table comes from. We have our layer definition. Scroll down. We have our layer type, which we can see subtype group table. You will not see this on a normal table. This is just because we have that issue, that bug at 2.4.0 with the tables. Our refresh interval is at 0. Our title is the current name of the table in the Web Map, and then the URL to get direct access to that table from the service. In this video, we saw how we could access the properties for a table in our Web Map.